and welcome to another edition of the MMK Show. Now, is it even possible to remove negative reviews from Amazon? I mean, negative reviews really affect your sales and overall visibility on Amazon. And how cool would it be if you could actually remove your reviews? So, today's guest that we have, Danan Coleman from TraceFuse, is going to be talking about how they have a service where they can actually help you remove negative Amazon reviews. How cool is that? Mag and Kevin, how are you guys doing today?
Very well. I'm sure a lot of people will love that. There'll be a lot of people working on their reviews tomorrow. They can figure out how to do it.
Yeah, sounds like a great service. Yeah, we're good for Friday, Magla. Looking forward to the weekend.
And we are looking forward to Vietnam sourcing trip coming up soon. Just in 2 months. So guys, check out more information at vietnamsourcingtrip.com. This is a 10-day tour where we take you to 3 different cities in Vietnam: Hanoi, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh. We bring you to lots of interesting factories that make a variety of products. And we also teach you all there is to learn about sourcing from Vietnam. You will learn, what types of products Vietnam offers, how to manage supplier relationships, how to place orders, how logistics works, quality control, and a lot more. We've got a lot of e-commerce experts joining the trip as well. We've got Ben Leonard, who is a very successful e-commerce seller. He's sourcing his products from Vietnam. And in fact, we're going to be visiting his factory in Vietnam as well. So that's pretty cool. Then we also visit a trade show. This is an export-focused trade show organized by Global Sources. And there are over 500 suppliers at the trade show. All of them are export-focused. So Vietnam is really an up-and-coming production hub, manufacturing center, and it is a great alternative to China. Vietnam is very different from India, of course. So check out more information at vietnamsourcingtrip.com. And Marg, what's your favorite part of the trip?
I've got a few. I probably like the junk boat. I like Hoi An. I love the food. Lots and lots. And I think it's just diverse because we actually travel from the north to the south. You see a lot of Vietnam as well. So it's a good opportunity as well as a business trip to get a quick overview. I mean, it's flying visits. We actually fly into Hanoi, and then we fly down to Da Nang after a couple of days, and then we fly down to Ho Chi Minh and spend the rest of the time down there. So you do get a quick bird's eye view of Vietnam as well, and it's a beautiful place if you haven't been.
But for serious players who are looking for another marketplace, this is a perfect opportunity just to get there, be a fly on the wall even, and just take it all in and digest what the factories like to deal with, the Vietnamese people like to deal with. It's a fantastic opportunity, in my opinion. And, some of the factories that we visit, you can see, what happens there on the floor, how it all works, talk to the owners, and in general, just see how Vietnam works.
Absolutely. So guys, check it out, vietnamsourcingtrip.com. Dates are April 17th to the 26th, and we look forward to seeing you there. And we also have a shorter trip. So in case you don't want to do the full 10-day trip, we also have a shorter 5-day trip that you can opt for that focuses only on Ho Chi Minh City. And, you don't necessarily have to do the other 2 cities as well. All right,
just let people know that if anyone wants anything in particular, they're looking, for particular products. I mean, we don't cover every type of product there is. Some people have certain requests, and we can put push you in the right way. We can recommend, factories we've dealt with. Can recommend. We can, even sourcing agents we can recommend that we've used in the past. So just let us know, folks, and we can certainly put you on the right track anyway.
And we can even add, I mean, in some instances, we can find the factory. If you say you're looking for a particular type of material or product, we can, in lots of instances, and we did on the last trip, actually take people to those particular factories and what they were looking for. So we can make it a bit more personalised as well. as we travel down, because we do the 3 cities, we can usually get close to a factory in one of the major cities.
Yeah. All right, awesome. So let's get started with the show. I'm going to invite Danan on stage. Hello, Danan. How are you
Hello,
doing?
hello. I'm well, Megla. How are you? Kevin, Margaret, good to see you again.
Good to
You
see
too,
you.
Danan. Yeah.
Been a little while.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're looking
Yeah, been a minute.
So I heard you're going to have someone on that can that knows how to help sellers get rid of negative reviews. Who's that going to be?
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Well,
Must be
cool.
somebody who owns one of those hats on the back wall there, Danan.
Yeah, definitely.
but we just hope this is not black hat, right? Is it black hat or white
Yeah.
hat? I see a lot of
Luckily-
brown hats there.
That's a bunch of gray hats there. Come on. No, you are in luck. This is 100% Amazon TOS compliant white hat. It is. If we were in an elevator and you go, "Oh, Danan, hey, TraceFuse, what's that?" And I basically tell you, well, essentially what we do is we look at your reviews, we find reviews that violate Amazon's community guidelines, and we inform Amazon of those violations and request a removal. So it's a pretty
Cool.
short elevator pitch.
So we're done.
Yeah, that's it. If anyone needs to get a hold of me, I'll be gone for 2 weeks. You can't. Good luck. Shall I go straight into
Thanks for the
the?
info there, Danan. Catch you later.
Well,
Yeah.
Danan, first of all, tell people about yourself and your background. Let's do a bit of an intro.
Yeah, sure.
How did you
So,
end up with TraceFuse? Yeah, what's your journey been like?
Yeah, I started off. Well, I started off as a seller. I'm still a seller. So I've been selling on Amazon since 2010. I've been in the supplements field the whole time, but in a very unique way. So I'm not private label. I'm not wholesale. I'm not arbitrage. I get exclusivity to a manufacturer's brand. So I've got exclusivity to a particular brand right now, and I've been selling that now for probably 8 years or so. And we don't run any this is not, I'm not advocating my methodology here, by the way. It's just very, very, very hands off. I dare say as hands off as you can get on Amazon these days. So I've got exclusivity to the brand. I get the products on consignment. I do not run ads. I rely upon the brand search on Amazon to make my sales. So it is a lower. What's that?
A big brand that everyone knows.
Yeah, it's a small brand, but they've got a good niche, and so I just capitalize on that niche, and I could do this over and over again if I wanted to, and technically I would be using patterns business model almost. Well, actually I wouldn't. I don't buy the inventory. I get on consignment, so I have zero equity out, zero cash out. It's all just sweat equity, and then we just keep the profits and then pay once a month for what's sold. So that's how I got started into Amazon. It's a very unique story. I won't get into detail today, but it involves getting hit by a bus on my motorcycle, being fully incapacitated, and that's what led me into Amazon. So that's yeah. There's my shocking intro into Amazon. So 6 years ago, my wife and I were doing quite well, and I was actually bored, and a buddy of mine had created Managed by Stats. And I called him up and I said, "Congratulations, I'm coming to work at Managed by Stats." And he said, "Why the hell would I hire you?" Because I beta tested it. He knew my numbers. I'm like, "Look, man, I'm bored. I've watched every cat video on YouTube. I stay up until 2 a.m. doing nothing, accomplishing nothing, and I need some structure in my life." So I ended up being strategic partnerships and affiliates, and I ran the podcast over at Managed by Stats and the videos, the studio where we did all of our live streams and training videos, etc. And then I helped broker the sale of Managed by Stats to Carbon 6, and then moved over to Carbon 6 as strategic partnerships over there. And then I am now over at TraceFuse, helping people remove negative reviews, and I freaking love it because it's a really, really, really big help to sellers. It's like you've got a few different ways that you can make money. Have a great listing, right? You have to have that. That's your base. But your reviews and your PPC are then the two main things that drive traffic and help with conversions, right? And if you have bad reviews, your PPC is going to cost you more. Or if you get such bad reviews, you won't even be able to do PPC. So, you know, not that that's a common occurrence these days, but well, I guess it depends on the category. But you know, it happens, you know. And so if you can maintain a higher star rating, I don't care if it's look, this is not my opinion as a a member of TraceFuse. This is my opinion as a seller. If you can remove even one negative review, I think it's worth it. So
well, I would say, Dana,
all right, so let's get into it.
Nearly every day you look through Facebook groups, there's always someone who's mentioning, you know, like negative.
It is a problem, and I'll go into this in my presentation, which I'll start here in a second. But you know, there are people that just enjoy bashing products. They're definitely out there, but there's also black hat stuff going on. So there are, we'll call them a rings, you know, basically companies that have bunches and bunches of buyer accounts that can purchase your product, leaving a negative review. I'm going to say critical review a lot in this, by the way. And just so everyone knows, Amazon defines a critical review as a written 1, 2, or 3-star review. So those are critical reviews. The rest are critical ratings. So that's just the star rating. So maybe I should just go right in. I'll go right into the presentation. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see. It should be this one. Are you seeing my screen and a little blue dot moving around?
Yep, we can.
All right, very good. So we're going to go into a little bit of what we do and also what you can do to help mitigate your own reviews. So a little bit more about me. If anyone wants to connect with me, you can just scan that QR code with your phone on the screen. Otherwise, you can just search for Danan Coleman on LinkedIn. So I am a husband and a father. I have 3 daughters, so don't ever accuse me of not being a ladies' man. That's all I have around me. My wife and I started in 2010, and we've done arbitrage, private label, handmade, wholesale. I technically still do a little bit of handmade, but it's mostly off Amazon. I'm 6 years in the Amazon third-party services and software space. A little personal bit of me personally. I'm FEMA certified for and actively do disaster response as a volunteer. I'm a huge outdoor adventurer with a YouTube channel and a Land Rover that occasionally and a little bit more often than occasionally breaks down. However, I'm also a master Jaguar technician, so I can work on the Rover when it breaks down. I help run the Wizards of eCom in Tampa Bay, which is owned by Carlos. It's a really big group of people with lots and lots of really great content. And what we're going to cover in this is essentially how we work, terms of service and community guidelines violations, removing negative reviews yourself, and of course the importance of generating positive reviews. I dare say I don't need to go into that. So do we have a chat here? Comments?
Yeah, we do have chat. Yes.
Okay, cool. If I could just have everyone say me or not me that's ever gotten or tried to remove negative reviews, and then how it's gone. I'm just going to move on because I know the answer. Yeah. So in our business, there's 3 pillars to our success. It's our data, our methodology, and our perseverance. So we've collected over 100 million product reviews to date. We've got an AI trained on Amazon's community guidelines and their terms of service to look for not just anomalies in the data, but direct violations of those community guidelines. So when we start filing cases, we go after the ones that have a very high chance of being removed first. So those are reviews that are FBA related, shipping related. They've got pricing information, have foul language, competitor information, and there's a fair number of other things as well. So this is these are some reviews that have actually gotten removed. So you can see the top left one is it's a shipping issue. This one here where it said it worked in a way, that's not really a helpful review. So even just unhelpful reviews can be removed. This top right one, that's an FBA one. So they sent the 0.15 ounce and I ordered the 2 ounce, right? So let's go over what's not allowed to be in a review. So I don't think I'll go over this list in its entirety. The main thing is that if you do a search for Amazon community guidelines, and you'll need to be, if I remember correctly, you'll need to be logged into your Seller Central account. But the main thing you want to look for is the section titled "What's Not Allowed," right? And we're going into our third pillar, which is our perseverance. So we were filing just gobs of cases and not having a super high success rate. And we basically figured out how to educate Amazon, what data they needed, the different teams for different types of reviews to be removed. And of course, we don't just file a case once and leave it alone. We follow up multiple times. So we need to go over a little bit about context when you are trying to remove a review. When you're communicating to Amazon, you have to completely keep all emotion out of it. I understand. Nobody understands more than me how tough that is, because I one of my private labels was a camping blanket, right? And I would get these returns. They would mark them as defective so that they could return it, and it would show up with dog hair, mud on it, very clearly used in the outdoors. So that really pissed me off. And so that what I'm saying is when you get these critical reviews and they're filled with wrong, highly biased, or completely inflammatory verbiage, you have to keep your emotion out of it when you're trying to report that review. So what's our process look like? Number one, we're going to start off by getting your merchant token and looking at all of your products and generating this spreadsheet, which lists out all of your ASINs. And just so everyone knows, all child ASINs, the reviews on those funnel up to a parent ASIN. So you'd only see one of those ASINs. And we basically give you a list of how many critical reviews are on each ASIN. So that's the 1, 2, and 3 stars. Oh, there's a close up for you so you can see how many 1 stars, 2 stars. We, of course, also do the 4 and 5 and give you the grand total. And then on the left-hand side, that's your star rating, right? So when we run your reviews through our AI, excuse me, I'm just getting over a little bit of a cough here. So when we run your reviews through our AI, it's going to give us an idea of how certain it is that review can be removed. So that gives us a list to go after. You choose the ASINs you want us to go after. This is our dashboard here, and you're going to see which ASINs we're working on. You're going to see how many reviews on a weekly basis. So the darker lines here are 1 stars. The lighter ones are 3 stars. This gives you the grand total reviews removed. And this is basically scrolling down on that page, shows you the reviews that have been removed. We keep the title, the body, the buyer, the ASIN, the star rating, the date of the review. And this is a clickable link that goes to the original review page, which of course goes to a Dogs of Amazon page. So you can finally be happy about seeing that page. This is our ratings tracking. So just 3 main dashboards here. Rating tracking, it gives you an idea of what the trajectory is on your way to that next star rating. So Amazon goes to 4.1. We go out 4 additional, out to the 4th decimal point. and give you an estimate. Now, Amazon themselves says that they do not know. Well, they don't use just a mathematical formula to figure out what your star rating is. Interestingly enough, unverified ratings, so meaning it's not a verified purchase, have no bearing on your star rating unless they write something, add a picture, or add a video. Also, the most recent reviews are the, geez, why does that keep going back? The most recent reviews have more weight than older reviews. So if that means, if it's on the critical side, that means also on the positive side. If you guys can go and snag some high rating reviews with some good text in there, hopefully some pictures, maybe a video, then that has more weight than an older one. So, as I said, we're 100% TOS compliant. We have removed over 16,000 reviews, negative reviews for our customers. Our team has a total combined of over 30 years of experience on Amazon. And we're the only service that offers this as a white hat service. So we're going to start going into some of the black hat stuff. What you're looking at right here is critical reviews. So that little center column there shows you from May 2022 to November 2023. And you can see the number, it peaks out at 6. And then suddenly, these are critical reviews, by the way, how many critical reviews they've gotten in a single day. And suddenly 4 days in a row, 15, 21, 13, 13. That is a massive, massive increase in the number of critical reviews, more than a year's worth nearly, all in 4 days, right? So that's clearly an attack to us. We're going to take this data, and here's just a bar graph of what that looks like. So 6 is the most they've ever had. Wham, spikes way up, right? So we're going to take this data. We're going to submit this to Amazon. We're going to basically tell them, look, Amazon, here's fraudulent activity going on your website. This is obviously illegal. Please do something about this, right? So, all right, we've got a success rate of somewhere between 5 and 15%. We've been as high as 27%. That is not the normal, but sometimes when we do these escalation cases and we find a massive amount of reviews that are black hat, we're able to get quite a few removed all in one swell foop, as it were. So we have no contract. We've got no monthly fees. We've got no retainers. We're 100% performance-based. We have a one-time setup fee of $750, and it's $250 per removed review. And, of course, it's super important to remove your negative reviews for your reputation, your product ranking. You get better conversion rate. Social proof, star rating, of course, those are obvious. But as you're removing reviews, even if your star rating isn't going up immediately, this is an interesting thing. I've actually got a client doing a case study on this right now. He saw a 50% reduction in his ACOS over a 1-month period of us removing reviews for him. This is before his star rating even changed. So let's get into the do-it-yourself negative review removal. So this, if you scan this, I don't have my phone, it will go to a document on Google Drive, and I'm not going to go into that document right now because it's fairly comprehensive, but just know, you know what? I will go into it briefly. Hang on.
So everybody watching, if you have any questions for Danan, feel free to type them in the comments.
Yes, please. Thank you. So
someone's saying really interesting and great information.
Thank you, Facebook user. Is that your real last name? So this is a live working document. So that QR code will take you to this document. I gave access to the document because I'm constantly working on this. I find these little tidbits and I add to it. So, you know, this is a super important statistic. Dropping from a 4.3 star to a 4.2 star will reduce your sales volume by as much as 50%. And that's overnight, folks. That is overnight. And this is not like some random statistic that I've come up with. This is based on speaking to my customers. So here's what you need to know about this. In here, I have a Chat GPT prompt that you can use. It is all of this right here. You use this prompt and it goes to right there. So you use this prompt in Chat GPT, and then you put your reviews in there, which it's all contained in this document, and it will spit out something like this, where it just goes, it'll say it's whether it's compliant or not. And now you know you can just get a spreadsheet of your reviews and quickly do a check on it using ChatGPT to find out which ones to go after first. All right. So that is what this QR code is for. I believe that, yeah. Okay, cool. So, excuse me. Did I just skip one? I think I did. Yeah, okay, good. So when you start filing cases, you want a lot of supporting data. You want to keep all emotion out of your messages. You need to reference the terms of service or the community guidelines and how that review violates it. And you need to be persistent, right? It's not, I think most of us.
Oh, what happened?
Here know what
Did
it's
you
like to
freeze?
deal with it. Something like that.
Oh,
What's that?
you're back. You're back. No, you froze for a couple of seconds, but you're back now.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I blame the internet. Okay, so most common violations for reviews is cussing, mentioning the price of an item, mentioning a competitor, and blaming shipping issues. Other types of violations are that you can target, or there are more, less obvious is what I meant to say. And that is in the community guidelines once again. So foreign language, English and Spanish are the only two languages that are supported on .com. Hostile, threatening, or violent speech. I see this all the time. I'm not joking with you. I had a customer, they had an LED light for a bicycle. And the title of the review was like, should be named murder something or other, which is ridiculous, right? And then they went into this long story about how the light hurt their son and they had to take the son to the hospital and it's a miracle that he's still alive and blah, 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 blah. We're talking about a little LED light that goes on a bicycle, right? So, you know, I checked into the account that left that review. It's the only review that account has left. So you'll see stuff like that, right? It's really inflammatory stuff. They know the key words to put into these reviews to get them to get them really highly considered by Amazon. And a lot of times, if you go into Amazon and you look at the what customers think, there's always a positive and a negative side. You'll often see that some of the worst reviews are right there. So if you can get that really inflammatory review down, then that is going to do well for you. So there are certain things that you need to do when it comes to writing reviews. It actually needs to be a valuable review. So,
But Danan, your slides are not moving. We're still seeing your where do you start slide.
really?
Yeah.
That's not good. Okay. So I stopped sharing. Let me try sharing again. You tell me if it presents, share screen. Are we there?
Yeah.
You see integrity
yeah.
of reviews?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes, that's what we see. Yeah.
All right. And did it switch for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's switched now. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So the integrity of reviews is super important to Amazon. The review basically needs to be helpful, right? A lot of times you get unsolicited medical advice. Those are usually very quick to get taken down. Or if it's not a product review, you see that all the time. You also see, and for some stupid reason, these are some of the hardest reviews to get down. You have an office chair that you sold, and the review is about a bicycle, right? And it's a negative review about how this bicycle caught itself on fire, right? But Amazon won't take it down because it's a legitimate review, even though it's the wrong product, right? So those are a pain in the butt. All right. So personal information, that is also not allowed. And return policy. Amazon is, darn it. It's still switching slides, right?
It's right. You're on
Yes,
the train.
yes.
You're right.
Okay, good. So Amazon makes certain products non-returnable, right? Mostly biohazard stuff, chemicals, stuff like that. And a lot of times you'll get these 1-star reviews because they can't return it. Well, those are removable. And believe it or not, sarcasm sometimes. So anybody have any questions so far?
Don't see any questions. But
Okay, good.
sarcasm, like how do you define sarcasm?
Exactly.
So subjective.
Exactly. It is. It is. But sometimes you can win those cases. You know, because if it's you, I think if you could take the sarcasm as being literal and it could be dangerous in some way or completely untrue, then that's probably when you can get it removed. All right. So we've already gone over this, but anything that's FBA or shipping related. All right. Now, I think I'm going to actually skip over why it's important to generate. No, you know what? This is super important. And a lot of people don't know this. A 1-star review has roughly the same weight as 12 5-star reviews.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. That is huge.
Yeah. That's why we put it in
Wow.
really big letters.
Yeah.
And I would have never guessed this, but I have
Yeah.
had 3 clients confirm that it's 12 stars for them. Now, I used to say 5 to 20 5-star reviews, but I've had 3 customers tell me it was 12. I had one of them tell me it was like 15, but 12 is the average number I'm hearing. So that's super important. So the main takeaways on this is that TraceFuse is completely white hat, and our software detects the critical reviews, and our team manually files all these cases, and we don't get paid unless a review gets removed. And that is about it. And yeah, anyone that is interested in booking a demo, you can do so with that QR code right there, or you can reach out to Megla or myself and just say you heard about us on the India Sourcing Network. Oh,
Cool.
one last
And
thing.
we also have a discount. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say everyone that signs up that's listened to this gets a $500 credit to their account.
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
And if wherever you're watching, go look in the description or in the comments. We've included the link over there, but it's basically this bit.ly/TF-ISN. So this gives you a $500 credit, or your first 2 reviews are removed for free.
That's right.
That's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
And plus, there's also the $750 setup fee, right? Even
Correct.
with
Yes.
this. Okay.
Yes. So
And what does
basically,
that setup fee entail?
so that just covers our spin up costs, basically getting all your reviews, running it through the AI, setting up your dashboard. I went through the dashboard a little earlier where it showed the review count and stuff like that. So getting all that set up. And then of course we have a significant amount of work into actually getting those reviews, those cases put together and started to get filed with Amazon. That's a lot of work. So that's basically what that covers right there. And originally we had a cap. You couldn't, I had to turn away 60% of the people that came across my doorstep, because you had to have at least 500 critical reviews to qualify for TraceFuse. That's been done away with because we can cover our spin up costs now.
Okay. Well, Oksana has a question. Is it possible to remove a review if the product wasn't used correctly?
That one is dependent upon what exactly is in that review. And if the main thing you need to remember is that it needs to violate Amazon's community guidelines in some way. Amazon does not care if a product was used incorrectly, because look, I probably shouldn't say this, but if you idiot proof something, they'll always find a better idiot, right? And sometimes those people enjoy lamenting about how they use something incorrectly. But if it doesn't violate Amazon's community guidelines, Amazon does not care about that. So, Oksana, I hope there's something else in that review that violates some section of the community guidelines.
Now, what are the most common reasons why reviews are removed?
The most common is that it's got
what types
yeah, the most common things are that it's FBA or shipping related, it's got pricing information, or it's got competitor information. Those are the three most common.
What do you mean when you say pricing information?
So if it says I wasted $30 on this product and it actually puts pricing, or it says this thing is way overpriced, you should only have to pay $10 for it, and it's a $50 item or whatever, that's pricing information.
Right. So you're not allowed to put any pricing in the review.
Yeah, that's correct.
Because I sort of do remember, I used to sort of follow all our review in the early times of our Amazon selling sort of career, and there was some crazy reviews you used to get. You know, like clearly it's someone, a competitor, and so Marg used to nearly cry because she put so much love and effort and everything else into packaging, the product, you name it. And some crazy has put this, the totally opposite sort of review, and it's hard for you to fathom what they're saying about your supposedly beautiful packaging and product, and there's nothing you could do about it. And in a lot of ways, I used to say, "Oh, Marg, it's obviously a competitor, that they've done that to stop, because you have good sales, then your sales would sort of slow down a little bit, and then it sort of peak again, Yeah,
this is a common tactic. This is a common tactic. It's particularly used a lot in supplements, electronics, beauty. So all they have to do is knock you down enough to just get you down in the ratings, and then they'll take your position. Somebody could spend, if you take out all things that make Earth great and people great, take out morals, take out ethics, and you look purely on a financial investment. If it costs them $10,000 to get, buy 100 of your products and get a bunch of negative reviews on there and get you knocked down, that could be worth $10,000 a week in revenue. Right? Now, I would never advocate, nor do I condone doing that to anybody, but it happens. So in times like that, we're going to look for anything in those reviews. I showed you guys that graph that showed the sudden spikes in critical reviews that a client had. They're usually done in these batches, so you can kind of get a handful of them, submit those to Amazon in an escalation case, and like, look, these are clearly fraudulent. These reviews are all written very similarly. They're done on the same dates or within days of each other. All these accounts appear to be fraudulent. They only leave negative reviews on this sort of thing. This is the only review they've ever done, etc.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. So, guys watching, let us know if you have any questions for Danan. This is, of course, literally a no-brainer. I mean, if you do have negative reviews on your listings, then consider signing up for the service. The first 2 reviews are going to be removed for free.
Yeah, but I would urge you, if you haven't tried removing reviews yourself, I would urge that you try and get that done. Unfortunately, you're going to find that you're probably going to want our service. It's not unfortunate for me. It's just unfortunate. It's an unfortunate reality. Like I'm just happy that we're able to help those sellers, because otherwise they just have to live with it. Like Marg, you know what it was like. It's devastating to get those reviews. It's not just devastating to you personally, but it's devastating to your sales. So that means it's devastating to your family, your livelihood. It's actually super not okay that this is even able to be happening. But that's why we exist now. It's because we can do something about it for you. And I would say, go ahead, try it yourself. If you have success, that's phenomenal. But we're going to be here when you're ready, because you realize that you don't want to invest the amount of time and effort into it. That's really the main thing. Because Amazon, well, never mind what I was about to say. I won't go on a tirade, but we'll just leave it at
that. Yeah, and I mean, you've mastered the process, right? I mean, you've submitted so many cases to Amazon that you now know what works, what doesn't work. I think that's also a big difference, right? Somebody doing it themselves, they're just sort of shooting in the dark.
Yes,
and
exactly.
They don't know what's worked. So
that document will help. Okay, let's see. Oksana asks, if Amazon refuses to remove a review, which should be removed, do we keep opening cases again and again? A fair question, Oksana. It's dangerous to do that, because basically Amazon gets pee-pee in their panties and gets upset and says, hey, you need to knock it off. You're violating our feelings by submitting too many reviews when we already said no, and they'll basically start ignoring you. So, there are multiple places that you can go. One, you have the report button on Amazon, which by and large seems to do almost nothing, but maybe it does something, right? It has happened where Amazon removes reviews. You've got community help. You've got seller support, which you should know that seller support stopped allowing cases to get reviews removed. But if you're not inundating them, I would still, I don't know. I don't want to give advice that you should do something that Amazon doesn't allow, but this happened like 3 months ago. I think it's completely not okay that Amazon said, hey, you can't come to us for help when you need help in this particular area of Amazon. We're only here to help you with other areas of Amazon, right? And it's the only thing that I'm aware of that they won't help you with is getting reviews removed. So I think it is worthwhile to submit a case on that. They're going to tell you need to reach out to community help. So I don't know. I would not, to give you a full answer, no, I would not keep opening cases again and again. But I would go to different areas of Amazon. There's the report button, there's seller support, there's brand registry, and there's community help.
Yeah.
So there's 3 or 4 ways around. So keep trying.
Yeah. Yep.
And so obviously when you go to raise a case, there's not a button that says request a review, check or something, is there? So how do you get that? Sometimes it's hard to get through the questions to get into to launch a case. Is there any way, any button that or any line that helps you do that?
So I give some examples of what to use in your cases or your emails to Amazon in the document that I put up. I'd better put the link in here just in case. but anyone that's watching this will be able to go back. Watching this afterwards will be able to go back. Let's see if I join the chat. Connect my YouTube, huh? Okay.
You can put it in the private chat, and then I'll put it in the comments.
Okay, cool. All right. That is the link to the documents. You're welcome, Oksana. Cool. Well, that wraps it up for me. Yeah, perfect.
Culture.
Yeah, well done.
Very interesting.
Okay. Yeah, very interesting and very unique and very, very important service. So thank you so much, Danan, for sharing this with us today, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Look forward to
Again.
seeing you somewhere.
Yeah.
Around the world.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Always a pleasure to see you, Danan.
What's that?
I said always a pleasure to see you.
Likewise, yeah. Hopefully one day I get to see you guys in India or Vietnam. I'd really love to go to Vietnam, but not on a sourcing trip. I want to buy a motorcycle and just go.
Oh, maybe we'll do a motorcycle trip.
Yeah.
Motorcycle tour. Why not?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right,
awesome.
guys.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. So we will see you next week with another episode of the MMK Show. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.